So I'm standing in the nave with Matthew Northover from Purcell Architects, and Matthew is the project architect on the cathedral's project. Hello, Matthew.
Hi there.
Just like to ask you a few questions about the project, if that's okay.
Fire away.
You and your colleagues have been working on the cathedral for a number of years in terms of remodelling the cathedral. What's it like to be finally on site?
I think it's very exciting in that the idea has existed on paper for quite a long time now, but when we get to site and actually get to put these things together using the real materials, it's a totally different sort of story to just drawing it out on a computer. And I think the challenges that come with that are something I really enjoy, getting my hands dirty, as it were, and working out these junctions, often at one-to-one, and working with the contractor, who obviously has a great deal of knowledge. I think, that's something I find really interesting about it, and possibly the difference between where we've been in the past up to actually being on site.
And do you have a speciality in architectural practice?
I'm particularly interested in the intersection between the old and the new, and I think that this project is a kind of an exemplar of that, in that we're introducing kind of new interventions into and over what exists as already a kind of a container of history, this building. And so there are lots of interesting moments that I'm really excited about where the pieces kind of connect together and how they can tell a story, as it were.
Mm-hmm. And what's your particular role as project architect?
So I'm perhaps boots on the ground. I come in and mainly have a lead technical role, so solving or responding to technical queries. So that's my main role in this.
That sounds very interesting. And what's the architectural vision for the cathedral's remodelling?
The vision for the remodelling, as I see it, to make the cathedral more accessible. Obviously, physically levelling out the floor and reducing the steps and the barriers for people, but in a way also academically making the history of the building more accessible, in making the memorials easier to view, making the ledger stones easier to view and interpret as part of the overall narrative of the building.
Mm-hmm. And does Newcastle Cathedral stand out in any way for you compared to other sites you've worked on?
I'd say every site I work on probably has a unique sort of section in my heart, but this building is something that really stands out to me. Just that you can feel the weight of its age being inside it, perhaps more so than other projects. Maybe that's a bit of an emotional connection, but that's how it stands out to me.
That's great. So you're quite excited about our project?
Yeah, definitely. It's been really fun to work on, and I'm looking forward to a few more challenges in the coming months.
And what are the particular challenges of this job?
So, going back to, I think, my idea of we can draw it out on paper as an idea and even develop the concept up to quite a sophisticated level of detail, but really we don't know what happens until we dig into the ground and see what we find. So I think the real challenge is making the final adjustments that make everything fit together when we actually get to site and find out what we're dealing with, because these buildings, they aren't right angles and perfect levels. It's that I think will be the challenge going forward. It's something we encounter on every historic building.
And how has COVID-19 impacted upon the project and your work with the other consultants, the technical team and the contractor?
I've definitely been at home more than I expected to be, but I think it's working quite well in that actually using Teams. We're probably talking more than we were really, so I think we've managed to mitigate any impact if there is any.
Yeah, good. And where are you in the project now? What are next steps?
So at the moment we're looking at the kind of final arrangement of the ledger stones, really working out how we're going to incorporate some ledger stones that we've just discovered beneath the floor.
And what's involved with that process?
So there's a lot of collaboration between that ourselves, David Heslop, who's the cathedral archaeologist, in interpreting the stone, the conservator in understanding the kind of physical properties of the stone, and then really balancing everything that's all these different kind of ideas that weigh into it to resolve what can finally go down as a floor, both in a practical sense and in a interpretive and historical sense.
That all sounds very challenging, Matthew. Well, good luck with the whole project, and I believe the cathedral's going to be closed, or the West End is going to be closed for all of this year at least. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.